With Procreate Dreams coming out in 2 weeks. By the way, I got my copy pre-ordered at the App Store. I figured it's finally time I review the app that lots of people have been using on iPad when it launched more than 12 years ago. With all that time on the market, what more is there to say about it that hasn't been said before? In the same way Photoshop changed the digital photo editing industry long ago, Procreate changed the digital illustration industry. Not only that, it evolved over time, reeling in more people to try digital art, especially those who don't have a computer. Throughout the 5 versions, it introduced new features that made it more and more usable for beginners and professionals alike. This plethora of features includes the perspective grid, animation assist, page assist, 3D object painting, and so many other features that make you ask, why pay thousands of dollars for a computer and a subscription to the Adobe suite for Photoshop when I can spend around $400 on a new iPad and a copy of Procreate? In all seriousness, though, Adobe has become so obsessed with adding unnecessary features to their apps just to keep their subscription-based business model that they forgot everyone can't afford a subscription, and they'll probably end up losing more customers as more one-time payment apps become available to everyone. One of the biggest features in Procreate, and probably one of the simplest, is the vast amount of brushes it has. Some of these exclusive brushes I used to create this painting, to create the grass, the tree, the mountain, the clouds, and the sun. As great as Procreate is, there are some criticisms I have of it. For one thing, the animation tools are lackluster to say the least. You can add a background and foreground, sure, but they'll take away from the amount of frames you have to work with. This really becomes a problem when you want to clean up your animation with line art, color, shadows, and highlights, but you can't due to the lack of frames. I believe these issues will be solved once Procreate Dreams comes out, because then we won't really have to do animation in Procreate. As an animator, I'd rather use this for storyboards, character design, layout design, thumbnails, pretty much anything that doesn't involve doing the actual frame-by-frame animation. Another complaint I have is about how long it took them to get a proper line stabilizer into Procreate. Seriously, they were able to get the ability to paint 3D objects into Procreate before adding the most essential tool for any digital artist. Why would they do that? The line stabilizer speeds up most of our workflows. It was the lack of a proper line stabilizer that made me spend $55 on Calipeg, long before Toon Squid came out for $10. Our review of Calipeg will be coming next week. I prefer to draw my characters with a thick outline and a thin outline, to give it that cartoony vibe. When I first used Procreate, it was a nightmare to draw the line art for my characters. And I asked the forum for a real line stabilizer more times than I could count. It was a lifesaver for me when they finally added it. The perspective tools also have some problems that need to be addressed. First of all, you can only have 3 vanishing points when the maximum amount of vanishing points is 5. The amount you're able to move the vanishing points is also limited, so creating pieces with far out vanishing points is out of the question. Another thing that'd be helpful is the ability to control how many perspective lines the grid has for each vanishing point. The layer limit is there to keep Procreate from crashing or slowing down, meaning you'd have to buy a more powerful iPad to get more layers. Again, this is very annoying for animators like me, who just want to make good animation that's cleaned up at the end. It also means that if you use Procreate to write a book, you'd have to write that book in chapters, unless it's a picture book or a book meant for little kids. As effective as the effects are in helping me achieve good results, they can be destructive, especially if you don't duplicate a layer you want to add effects to. With a mask, you can erase things off your drawing non-destructively, so why can't there be something like that for effects? Those are only the major problems I have with Procreate. However, Procreate has been used in major animation studios such as Walt Disney Animation Studios and Pixar. Other features in Procreate include being able to make a time-lapse of your process, which is how I made the teaser for this review. Another great feature in Procreate is one that I used to make 2 of my videos, which is the face paint camera. It allows you to record yourself with face paint, and you can turn the camera off to create the magic mirror effect. So, who exactly is Procreate for? Well, anyone who wants to draw, paint 3D objects, make simple books, do simple animations, anything for the artist within themselves. Now that Procreate Dreams is coming in 2 weeks, who knows what Savage Interactive will come up with in the next 12 years. Maybe it could be an app for 3D animation. Maybe something music related. With many creative fields out there, the possibilities of what Savage Interactive will come up with next for the Procreate lineup are practically endless. I hope you enjoyed this review of Procreate. I can't wait to finally try out Procreate Dreams. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.